Thank you.
Firstly, I would like to extend my gratification for this 11th edition of Eastern Himalayan Naturonomic Forum. So Jason, please give me your take on why this Great People Forest is going to be the great vision for the Eastern Himalayan region.
Yeah, well, I think what we've learned from now 11 sessions of the Eastern Himalayan Naturonomics Forum is that not only is this a region of huge ecological significance, very densely populated place, store of biodiversity that the whole world depends on, store of carbon that the world depends on, but people don't know enough about it. But what this forum has shown us is that there are organizations, companies, individuals, communities that are doing incredible work from the mountains all the way down to the mangroves. They are ready to scale their work, and the Great People's Forest is going to get behind them, raise funds, and mobilize action so we can do what needs to be done over the rest of this decade.
Okay, thank you. And but there are so many platforms going on regarding to the protection and conservation of ecosystem, right? And what is your perspective to conceptualize the platform like this actually help to achieve the vision, to achieve the mission of having this great people's forest, especially in this context, especially in this region?
Yeah, I think you're right. There's lots of platforms, both in India and the region and around the world. But what we've learned actually is that the pace we have to move, if we're going to stay on track to protect nature and protect our climate, we have to work together. And you've seen that in the Amazon, the region coming together to protect the Amazon. You've seen that in places like the Congo Basin, other significant places where biodiversity goes across borders. People have to come together if we're going to move quickly. And that really hasn't happened yet in this region. People have been sharing knowledge, but they haven't got the international support. They don't have anywhere near the amount of international recognition that the people and the species of this region really deserve. So that's why we needed to do this, to really put the Eastern Himalayan region on the map.
The theme, actually, the theme of the Great People's Forest is something very interesting, and it gives a lot of values.
Yeah.
I think we people are part of this ecosystem, right? And it is our true accountability to protect our nature, our Mother Earth. But in terms of leadership, right? In relation to leadership, how you describe the participation of young people, because I am one of the fellows in the Balipara Foundation Fellowship, right? I have been learning a lot, but how young people can play their brilliant part of role to mitigate the climate change impacts, and also to build the resilience power in achieving this great people's forest in days to come in future.
The reason that we have confidence to even embark on this journey is because of the young people who are working on this, because of the fellows that we've already attracted to do this. The fellowship program that Balipara has launched at the real start of the Great People's Forest Initiative, we had initial funding to have 20 people. We had 900 applications. 900. That's 880 people that we couldn't reach out to. We have to find more resources because the young people of this region, and this is a very young part of the world, they are the ones who are going to lead this. That is the only reason we know that this will work. So we need to think about how we can get thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of young people to get the support they need to do restoration in this area. Because it's not just what happens to the end of the decade, it's what happens in the decades to come after this as well. So I think this is going to be something really unique about the regional efforts that we're doing here, and it'll be a real example to the rest of the world. People like me aren't going to lead this, people like the CEOs aren't going to lead this. It has to be a youth-led restoration movement, and you're right at the start of it.
Yeah, and I'm so much glad that as a part of this platform, it is a great learning and trying to explore a lot of things inside those indigenous communities. But at the same time, there are a lot of loopholes, voids, right, that we need to bridge on, right?
Yes.
And like you mentioned, that we need to act together, hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, to mitigate those challenges, to achieve the goal by 2030.
Yes.
Now, from this forum, so please elaborate, what could be the potential outcome, like how we can, envision with the help of that outcome to foster I mean, the great future, the great plan
Yes.
from this forum, right? What is your
Yeah.
take on this?
I think the reason that this forum is so successful is because, yes, you get together and you talk, but then you plan for action. A year ago, there was an initial idea that maybe people should get together and we should think about a project together. Fast forward 1 year, we've launched the Great People's Forest. We've brought forward the first plan to do 60,000 hectares of restoration and protection across Bhutan, the northeast of India, and Bangladesh. We already have partners working together. We've made announcements at COP. We're out there raising funds. We have fellows that are already being trained. That went from no idea to all of that action in 1 year. This year at the forum, we talked about what the plans are going to be, and we already have new ideas. So Dr. Bava, the founder of Atri, inspired by what he's seen with young people here, he said in addition to having 1 billion trees planted, $1 billion raised, and 1 million hectares restored, why don't we aim to have 100,000 young people working on restoration by the end of the decade? So already that's something we want to do. So that's going to be action after this. Ranjit has been talking about education and schools. Right, good. How are we going to build a plan then to put education, school children at the heart of this work, both the restoration and but through their learning about the biodiversity? There's all sorts of efforts. The conversations that are going on about waste in the room right now have huge relevance. So we're talking, and then we get together, we make plans, and a year from now, we're going to have made more progress than anyone can believe, because this is such an active event. It's not a talking shop.
Wow. I think it just touched me, right? That seems to be a little bit optimistic, right, to initiate this kind of a program, right? I'm very proud as a part of this fellowship, and thank you so much for giving this wonderful time.
Thank you so
I
much.
really appreciate
No,
it.
thank you for what you're doing. Thank you.